One.
Welcome back, guys. I told you, well, Peggy told everyone that she would no longer be introducing the podcast.
That's her
It would just
job.
be me. So I'm taking that responsibility right now. As you can see right now, we definitely have a guest, one of our last guests for this season. I'm excited to introduce her. But first, I want her to introduce herself.
Hey y'all, my name is Sushana.
I love Shoshana. We used to work in our previous jobs together. You kind of still work there.
Yes.
And I thought she would be fitting to be on this episode considering it's the last Tuesday of Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
And she is... How would you identify yourself? Are you like lesbian or bisexual?
It's a tricky thing. So, I definitely like women. I guess a lot of people who see me would identify me as a lesbian. But like I find myself attracted to men. But
sometimes, but not all the time.
Sexually, no.
You can find them attractive, but you're not sexually attracted.
Yeah. So I don't really know how to consider that, and honestly, I'm not really into labels. Honestly.
No, that's true. That's very true. So, I think I guess that's one of the myths, that just because you sexually prefer someone, you can no longer be attracted to the opposite sex, and that's not true.
Right.
It's not true at all. But with that being said, we always ask our guests to introduce 3 things about them that's not tied to what they do and more to do with who they are, so you can get a better perspective on the person. So can you share 3 things about you that potentially people wouldn't know?
I am passionate about I love to ride motorcycles.
We heard her when she came in. I was like, who this fucking annoying ass motorcycle?
I enjoy reading, and I recently, like the last 2 years, I've like been really like kind of an outdoorsy person, like hiking and stuff. Not that I wasn't before, but I feel like with the pandemic, it kind of like changed my mindset when it comes to a lot of exercising and stuff like that. So I've been finding myself like.
My family has shamed me because we started off strong. We were all like, every Sunday we're gonna go hiking.
Right.
After the first Sunday, I was like, I'm busy. I got things to do.
I mean, you gotta motivate yourself, honestly. Because if you don't and you depend on other people, you never make it. You know?
So you hike by yourself? Ain't no damn way.
I have, actually.
I would never. I'm too scary. Fuck around and get lost and be
Right.
stuck there.
Hello. Help me.
I just need to get out the door, outside, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, do you go to Blue Hills?
I have,
Yeah, I like Blue Hills. I almost died the first time.
That's the
I was
one
like, I'm
with
not
your
gonna
family?
make it.
That's the one with your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one that they go to all the time. They do like the really long one.
Which one?
The blue one or the red one? Yeah.
The blue one. But there's different ways with the blue one.
Yeah, there's 2 different ways which they've done. They've actually started, because like towards the end of the blue, if you start from the beginning, like the original beginning, it gets really hard at the end. And then everyone gets unmotivated. So then everyone's like, let's start from the back end. Let's start from backwards.
Wait, so when you guys start like you walk up?
Yeah. It's
Or
kind
do
of
you
like
go up the rocks?
No, that's how we consider the back.
That's not the back, that's the front.
No, so then we've always started them backwards. Then we made our lives so much difficult. I'm telling you, that fucking no. And when we get there, we're like, I'm like, I need a break. And my little cousin, who is like super healthy and fit, he's looking at us like, y'all geriatrics need to fucking hurry up. It's hot up here. But yeah, no, I actually truly enjoy hiking. We should definitely do it one day.
You should.
I've done it twice before with the students. They took them to White Mountains, and we were climbing certain rocks. And I'm like, the first time we went, I was like, literally, I think I was 30, so I felt better. The last time we went, right before COVID, I'm like, yeah, it's not the same anymore. My body's not reacting the same.
No, my knee and my ankles was like
I mean, I don't mind.
My ankles was like clack clack at one point, and I was like, it's over. I'm gonna be stuck up here.
If I was to do it, it has to be like a low impact trail.
Yeah.
It can't be the one where I'm like straining it tomorrow.
I think you should definitely start like that, but you shouldn't continue that way.
Oh, no,
you should graduate.
No, I want to start off with a low impact and then work my way up. Because starting me with the hard one, I'll meet y'all back down there.
So annoying.
I'll be down there waiting at the end of the trail.
No, I think you just have to have good people around you, and it's always a group of us. It's like no less than 4. But I think the most we've had was like 10.
Okay, that's a good group.
Have you guys ever heard of the is that Soka hike in Boston?
Never heard of that.
Oh, okay.
We don't listen to soca.
Oh, well.
I listen to some of it, but not like all
I don't think
of
it's
it.
just soca music,
Okay.
but so a friend of mine, I don't know if she hosts it or like she's just a part of the group. But for every so often, like they do like one Sunday a month, they go to Blue Hills and they go hiking, and it's a group
They're
of like
playing
women.
music. Oh,
Right.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's nice.
Yeah, it's dope. And
You've done it?
I haven't done it no.
Okay,
But
so then we
I
need to
always
do
see
that.
her promote it, so it's like.
Oh, that's a dope thing to do.
I would definitely do that. Oh, a group of women that we can like network and like
Right,
get to know.
Right.
I'm for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
That's
let me know.
empty.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. All right, so to end off Pride Month, we thought we would come and share, not share, but have someone on here who lives in that. I live in that too, but secretly. Cause
Not a secret no more.
Because I know the people that I'm keeping a secret from are not watching this. my dad's side of the family is not watching this, so it is what it is. I have a fear of judgment. Like the people that like I'm close to and that know me know that I'm bisexual. Like whatever. And at first, my cousin have this argument all the time. This is the one that I'm like. This is like my love, like my soulmate. And she was like, "You're not fucking bisexual." And I was like, "Yes, the fuck I am." And she doesn't believe in bisexuality, and that's why we have this argument. But it doesn't mean that she loves me any less. So, but I can always remember from very young, when like I can give you names, first and last names of girls I was always attracted to, but I didn't understand why I was attracted to them. Like from elementary, like I would cling to them, I would always play with them, I would always like, this is my friend. But I was always like, yeah, but I didn't know, I really didn't understand it. It wasn't like a sexual attraction. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty and blah. And then I think it was middle school is when I identified like, oh, you like girls. And it was a mutual friend of ours that you know. I'm not gonna say the name.
His name?
Her name.
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Yeah, and that was like my dog. Like that was my dog in middle school. And
Funny thing is, middle school, like, I knew by the way she dressed. I'm like,
legitimately, her mom had to force her into a jean skirt for graduation, and she was pissed. She was pissed that she had the curls with the twisties in the front. She was mad. But yeah, I was attracted to her, but I didn't understand. Like, she was not vocal about her position on that, so I never pushed it. And then we were still friends. She went to a different school than me for high school, and she called me one day and was like, "Hey, I gotta tell you something." And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she was like, "I'm gay." I was like, "Bitch, I fucking knew that. Like, everybody knew that. The teacher, your mama. That's why she forced that skirt on you." She was like, "If anything, you're gonna wear this skirt for graduation." I was always attracted to women, but I never understood it when I was young. It was up until like high school, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I never ever like experienced it or like not entertained, but like fall into that attraction until after school, like in my college days. And I remember I told this girl who was gay in my class when I went to college, and she was like, "Well, you won't know unless you kiss a girl." And I was like, "I've never kissed a girl." And she was like, "Okay, let's go to the bathroom and like," and I was like, "Okay." So we started kissing, and I was like, "I'm not attracted to you, but I understand my attraction now, like to women. I was never attracted to her. Like she was super sweet, she was super nice." She was from like Texas. She had like an accent, like a down south accent. She was super cute, but I wasn't attracted to her after we had kissed. I was like, it ain't doing what it's supposed to. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. So there's that. But as the years gone on, I started being more free and started caring less about what people thought. You know, but that was like in my adult life when you're out of the house and fuck your parents.
Things are different.
I remember the day, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up about myself. But I remember the day my dad, so like people in the neighborhood, I lived in the same house since I was born pretty much. And people that lived in the surrounding homes know my whole family. Like we grew up together, their kids grew up together with us or whatever. And so when they see me with my ex-girlfriend, or with my girlfriend at the time, when she would come over for holidays and like just come over to like spend time with my family, they're like, that's a girl. And they're holding hands, and they're being super affectionate, and that's fucking weird. So they would call my dad, and then my dad finally called me. He's like, "What is this I hear? You like girls?" And I was like, what are you talking about? Now I'm shook because I'm like, fuck, I know how he feels about gay people. And I was just like, what are you talking about? He's like, they telling me that you, he's like, my daughter would never. He can tell me you dating this girl and she's going over your mom's house. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Whoever told you, have them call me and we can have this discussion. But it was like instant fear and like, let me protect myself and not like, let me be honest in this.
Your mother didn't care.
My mom, she don't know, and I never told her, but it was in her face. And she was like, and she loved my ex. Like, she was like, when is she coming over? I made her favorite meal. Like, she never made her feel any type of way. But I think my mom knew, but didn't know. And I think she wasn't going to ask, because if I answered what I think she would fear, she'd have been like,
yeah. Okay.
But it's all because of ignorance and not understanding.
Right.
So there's that. But yeah, so my dad still, to this day, I'm like, no, I'm not gay. But,
I mean, my dad's the same, honestly.
And have you been honest with him or no?
Yeah, but that took like, not really years, but years. So when I didn't come out to my dad, my sister came out to my dad for me. Which I didn't appreciate. No.
Oh, she
my
came.
older sister. He called her. I was like, what is this I hear about? Because my nickname growing up or in my family is Poochie. So it's like, oh, would I hear Poochie being gay? And then she was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh. But like, so like my ex-girlfriend, like, because my first girlfriend, I was 17 when I met her, right? And she would come over all the time, and we would like, she would spend the night there.
But no one would think anything
because it's two friends. It's like, oh, they're just friends.
But the thing is, like, my ex-best friend would be there all the time through high school, right?
Okay.
And so like he knew her, so when she stopped coming over, and then this girl started coming over, it wasn't anything to it, but his wife, I can't stand it.
Fuck that wife.
And she's like,
it's you
like,
call her
religious.
his wife and not your stepmother, because technically she's your stepmother.
No, she's not. So she was very like religious, and so like she kind of like peeped what was going on. So she started like pointing things out, and then like I remember one time me and her got into this argument. She's like, oh, why is this girl coming here? And she would literally watch my every move, literally. So I think she started telling him stuff, and then he went to my sister and then asked her. But then I remember my family's really like, my dad's side of the family is like really messed up. So
whose dad's side of the family ain't?
Your dad's side is always gay.
It's always tricky. It's
so
tricky over there.
So my mom had came into town, and she wanted to have like this family meeting, and he asked me, and I was like, yeah, like I'm gay, and I'm proud of that. And he was like, well, you know, this is not what I want from you. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care what you want from me. It's what I want to do. Because he's always like trying to put his ideas and his beliefs on me, but it's not what I wanted. So he never really liked that I like retaliated in a sense.
Yeah, you were not rebellious.
Right. So I mean, I admitted to him we don't have a good relationship, and that's fine with me. I'm comfortable in my sexuality and who I am. I don't throw it in people's face. But
when you have good sex, who cares what people feel like?
Exactly. Like, why do I bother people? I don't understand that.
You know the orgasms I be having? I don't give a fuck about your feelings.
Oh, Lord. You give her daddy a conniption like, what?
Orgasms? You're supposed to reproduce. That's it. So, no, I get it. So, I guess, obviously, your father didn't take too kind to that. What about your mom?
My mom, it took her a while. Not a long time. So, my sister also kind of started this whole dynamic with my mom. All right, so I remember when I was 12, I was on the phone with her because she was in Jamaica, and we were here. And so my sister and I was on the phone with her, and my sister was like, Mommy, what would happen if, you know, one of us was gay? And she was like, Carla, I know it's not you, so it has to be Poochie, right? And plus, I was such a tomboy, like there's no way. And then she was like, and I was like, why would you say that? And she was like, I remember when you were 12, you asked me if I had lesbian friends, and I remember that conversation. So
how's your mom just like, do you have lesbians as your friends?
Because I remember asking, because I was curious, like I always knew that I liked women. I didn't understand it just like jazz, especially growing up in Jamaica. Yeah. So it was like, but I
definitely want to get into that. Go ahead.
You know them West Indian Islands don't play with that.
You get stoned to death.
Right.
They're still the same way till this day.
Yeah. A lot of them. You know what's funny? I find that they're more accepting of the women.
Not the men. The men,
yeah.
they'll kill the men before.
Even though, like, you know, obviously, like, I haven't been Jamaican in a while, but like, there's a huge like trans community down there.
Oh.
And especially if like, you know, if they trick them or whatever, they will kill them, like, legit. I have a friend I grew up with, and we all knew he was gay, you know, and he never troubled anyone, but because of his sexuality, they killed him, like, severed his neck. Like, it was bad. Yeah.
And that's honestly why I wanted your perspective, because I know you grew up in Jamaica, you're Jamaican, and I know how that's not really acceptable there.
Right. I mean, my family's come around. My mom, she's accepting of it.
Yeah.
There's times when she's like, "Oh, when are you gonna have kids? You're gonna have kids which way?" And I'm just like, and I had to like correct her one time because like she will say stuff like, "The gay." I'm like, "The gay."
It's not a
parents killed me.
And I'm like, "What? The gay? What's the gay?" And I'm like, "Mommy, no, it's just gay. Just gay. It's gay. Lesbian." And I'm like, it would frustrate me. But I'm teaching her, and she's becoming more open.
Yeah, as long as they're receiving, because I understand their ignorance because it wasn't taught to them.
Right,
It was actually told to them that this is not.
It was taboo. It was like quiet.
Right,
You wasn't talking about that.
Right.
So
she's met both my ex-girlfriends,
I would have killed my sister. Like, bitch, this ain't your story to tell.
every time you turn on, mommy, can you, daddy, like, shut up.
Give me hypotheticals. No, we all know you ain't gay. You fucking niggas. Yeah.
Mom was like, I know it ain't you, so it gotta be you. Cut the hypothetical question.
Could I just share? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, what I was gonna say is, since you discussed like you being growing up in Jamaica, I know, like, I never was raised in Haiti. I've been there, but I remember asking my dad questions like, oh, like, what is it like in Haiti in regards to the gay community? He's like, honestly, they have their own community there. Yeah. He's like, there's some people he grew up knowing, like they had like their inklings like that person has to be gay, but he's like, I never bothered anyone. He's like, kept to myself. If they're gay, that's their business. But he's like, there were instances in the past, like if they were to be in the common areas, like where other people would be on, someone pointed them out, like, oh, that's so and so, and they're gay. Yeah. Like, people are gonna chase them down, track them down, try to kill them, harm them and stuff. But he's like, he said in the last couple of years they're like more out there now, but they're still very secluded. Right. But they're still out there. They have their own community. But don't quote me on this, guys. It could have changed since then, because I know there's more information coming out. Things changed. Because at the time when I asked my dad, it was still like hush hush, like it has to be very secret. And I know like a lot of Haitian parents, they were raised religiously, and it was like very frowned upon. Like I had a cousin who, I forgot how she came out, but I knew she was. I remember going to Miami summer 2013 with my mom, I just got the vibe. I'm like, yeah, she's gay, but I'm gonna wait till she comes out. I knew, but I let her say it, and when she told me, I'm like, cause I knew. She's like, you did? I'm like, yeah, I was gonna wait for you to say something, but I knew. And then family had a big discussion, like, oh, you know, such and such, she's gay. Da, da, da. I'm like, me and my niece, like, with 3 years apart, were like, yeah, we knew. I was like, I knew this, like, and you didn't say nothing. I'm like, it was not my place to say that. And then they had this whole tyrant thing of like, you know what? You know, I'd rather my child just have a kid out of wedlock than to be gay. I'm like, there's nothing y'all can do about it. Just accept it. I'm
hoping that they see that like people can still have full lives. They can still get married with same sex. They can still have children, same sex. They can adopt. They can do whatever, and they can have that traditional family lifestyle that every parent wishes for their child. That are not receiving of the LGBTQ, right? But I wanted to share the one time. So my ex's mom, I think, knew but didn't know, right? So I would go over there, whatever, cool, and nothing. We talked, nothing. She was just like, oh, this is her friend. So one night, why the fuck was she telling her mother this? But I was scared as fuck of her mom. But I was gonna stay the night because I think there was an issue at my apartment with like the water or something, and that was the night she decided to tell her mom, like, this is my girlfriend and she needs to stay here because of the water. And my mother's like, oh, girl. I'm gonna have to figure out how to censor that shit. Bring your ass to this room. And then she's like, I don't want that girl in my house. You are not sleeping in that house. I'm not sleeping in this house together. And I heard her mom like going off on her.
You were like, what?
I was like, get me the fuck out of here. I grabbed my bag. I was like, my house is 2 blocks down. I will go home. No problem. I never want to make somebody, the head of the household, uncomfortable in their home. Yeah. She's not there yet. And that's okay. But I was like, girl, why would you tell her now?
Yeah. You could have said, oh, my friend.
In the same breath that I'm sleeping over. Like,
you could have said, oh, my friend needs to spend the night because of the water thing. And then, boom, then later you can tell her, you gonna wait while I'm there.
My girlfriend. Yeah.
By the way, she could have held on to that.
But I will say, being in girl relationship is crazy.
What do you mean?
Bitch, you know what I mean?
I've seen memes in the past where they say
you know what the
lesbian relationships, they
terrible.
They fall in love quick. They're already moving into. I'm like, wait, y'all just met 2 weeks ago. How did that happen?
Wait. Explain this because I need to understand.
So from my understanding, it's like obviously you met someone. So you met someone like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And you guys are talking. By week 3, you're already crushing hard, liking each other. Then in 2 months, you guys are like moving in together.
Yep. Yeah, that's fast.
Yep.
That's scary for me. Like, what?
That's so fast. Like, I don't
That's
get
very
that.
fast.
No, that wasn't our case. We were friends from high school, and we just kind of fell into this or whatever. It took months. We almost, because I was like, contemplating moving to DC, and she's moved out of the house, out of different states or whatever. So she was that shit was scary for me, but for her, she's been there, she's done that. She's moved out of the state. She's moved away from family. So I brought up the idea of moving to DC, and she was down for it. But then I got like cold feet. I was like, moving away from my family, moving away from everything I know to a city I don't know that is hella expensive. I'm over here like, you don't even have a job. Like, I secured myself a job, but you don't even got a job. And we're trying to pay, at the time, this was 2013, 14. Okay. And a studio apartment was $1,600 at the time.
Girl, now it's probably like $5,000.
Yeah, no, like, right, and it was at the perfect location. But yeah, like, right now, it would have been at least $3,000 more. Like, crazy. Wow. So, so you can imagine, like, I wasn't getting paid that much in 2014. So I just kind of nipped it in the butt and then I ended the relationship because although I might sound a little crazy on here, I actually do nice things for people. So I realized the love that she was giving me, I could not give to her. And I felt terrible taking that when someone else should be receiving that. Right. I loved her, like completely loved her, but not in the same way that she loved me. So I was just like, I loved her more like, you're my dog, like you're my friend, like I fucking love you in that way. But she's like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and I was just like, that's so selfish of me to take that, and I can't give that to her. You know what just popped in my head? So random. The few times it's you looking at me. I wish I could zoom into her face. The few times that when we had like plans for dates and she would come along. Yeah. There's some movie dates and some dinner dates, but it would be nothing. Some people might be like, oh, you're third wheeling it, but it didn't feel that way. No, because it was 3 girls, like, and then we weren't, I'm not a PDA person in that sense. So, like, my ex was... Censor, you're going to put the censor. I got to figure the censor shit out. She was not like, well, she would love to be that way. I was just like, I'm not a PDA person, like, we can hold hands maybe, but we're not doing this like tonguing each other down shit in front of my friends. Like in front of my friends, no. So yeah, it never. Everyone says that. Like everyone felt like it was just cool. Like, yeah, it was nothing because we done movies, we done dates. Like, whatever. Yeah. So it was cool. Anyways, to jump off of that. What has your... So now, we were just talking about this before we started recording. We started talking about the pronouns and how we're receiving them. I have a friend at work who's helping me through this because I have a lot of questions. I don't understand it a lot. I'm not as receiving because, again, you can do whatever you want. You want to be non-binary. You want to be identified as he, she, whatever. By all means, do your thing. But it's the pressure to feel like you need to do the same. Or you need to identify your pronouns that I'm like, I'm not okay with that. Like, I'm not telling you can't do it, but don't tell me that I should. Or then tell me that I'm wrong for feeling empowered to be called a woman and feeling good about being a woman. Like, I love being a woman. There's nothing about it that I want to change. Even the periods. I'm here for the periods. Like, let's.
Even the lingo be confusing me. So I was reading someone said cis women, CIS, and I'm like cis. And I'm like, wait, what is that? What am I? Like, I was confused. Like, what is that mean? Does it mean for straight women? Okay, because I was like, what? Wait, is that me?
Cis women are straight.
Okay.
Hetero, obviously, is straight men, right?
Yeah.
Heterosexual.
It
could be cis.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wait, are you calling me cis or sus? Like, I don't understand. Like, it was confusing. So I was like, oh, there's a lot to like unpack here. Like, my first encounter, aside from like friends coming out to me, like, oh, I'm gay, or then I'm like, oh, okay. That's I thought you would think differently because you grew up in a religious home. I'm like, I'm not my parents. It's different. Like, am I confused about it? Yes, I really am. I don't know. I'm like, you're coming out to me at 16. I don't really know this stuff.
Yeah.
But later on, working in Boston Public Schools, I had students who were transitioning. Mm-hmm. And there were times I slept up.
Ooh, I'm interested because you work in a predominantly urban, space.
Yeah, I had students who were transitioning, and there were times I slept up. I was like, oh, shit, I'm so sorry. This I missed. It's okay. Because it's like, we would leave for the summer, there would be a girl, there would be a boy, and come September, they're like a whole different gender, and I'm like, wait,
I'm really
so how
curious.
am I going
do you
about
not
this?
ask questions? Because I'm like, how do their parents receive? I have yet to meet a trans, I have met a trans man that turned into a woman, but he had no relationship with his family. He had a separate family. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. What's the proper name for it?
Their family.
No. There's like a name for it. Like, typically when a kid comes out and says I'm gay or I'm trans or I'm whatever, their parents kick them out, and they have like these like adult moms and dads that take them in as their own children, which I loved. There's a name.
I remember the name, but I didn't really talk about because it was in a show that I was actually watching.
Is it Pose?
Pose, yes.
My niece was telling me about that. My niece was like, I'm definitely not. My niece was raving about it. She's like, oh my God, I was so ignorant before watching this show. And I was like, I don't understand none of this shit. And Pose was like, I'm definitely going to start watching that.
I've been meaning to watch it. I've seen clips when people use it as like a meme or something. I was like, I'm going to watch the show.
Yeah, it'll definitely help answer some of your questions too.
Yes.
Those kids, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, the students that are transitioning in your school, because you're in an urban setting, so a lot of your students are black, brown, person of color.
Yeah.
And I know our culture doesn't receive that well. I'm curious to know if they're still with their parents or if they're in a now newfound family.
The one that I do remember, it was like my first year or second year working in high school. She was transitioning from male to female. Mom was very receptive. I don't know nothing about dad, what relationship was with dad, but mom was very receptive. She had told us the name she wanted to go by and everything. There are times I slipped up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. She's like, no, miss, it's fine. I get it. You gotta get used to it. Yeah. And then I had a student transitioning from female to male, and I started to notice the changes. Like, he was taking hormones, so the mustache beard started to come in. Kept a little cut.
I could give him some of my hormones and shit. My mustache be coming in like a chia pet.
Yo, and then there was one time I referred to him. As his name that he was given when he was a woman, and I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. He was like, miss, it's okay. Like, honestly, the kids are more understanding.
Oh my God.
Than the adults. You slip was, you're homophobe. I'm like, yo, I fucked up. My bad. I do not have nothing against y'all. I'm good.
The adults be going hard. The kids are more like, okay, I understand it's a process to learn and change. Remember one of our coworkers that worked closely with you that changed their name?
Oh, is it there?
I'm just going to say there.
Okay.
Because I don't want to, whatever.
Okay.
Well, now we can say her. She changed it, and no one was receiving of it. And I understood the back end of that story. Like, there was a lot of trauma attached to her given name, and she wanted to get away from that. Okay. So it took a while. Now I don't even remember her original name. I was like, what the fuck is her original name again? I don't know. But it took a while. It took probably 2 years for people to get used to the name change.
Yeah, because it's like with names, it's like, when something, you know how when you have a routine in your brain, and the moment you slipped up, it's like, oh, your whole day's messed up. Like, damn it, I know I messed up by doing that, but it's like when you're used to calling someone by that, not intentionally. Some people will intentionally, purposely not call them by the name that they want to be called by, and that's a whole different story. But people who are really trying, it's like, damn, give people a chance. We're learning. We're getting there. But people who intentionally don't respect it, that's different. You want to cuss them out, cuss them out. But people who are trying to say, oh shit, my bad, I'm learning. You gotta give them time because, and that's even with the coming out too. I've had students who said, I had one student came to me, oh, my parents don't love me. I'm like, how do you figure? And I'm like, okay, this is definitely a social worker thing because this ain't my
job.
I was like, okay, how you figure? Oh, I told them I was gay, and I'm like, okay, how'd you tell them? Oh, I wrote a letter, and it was a letter he wrote, and then left it on the table, and then I'm like, well, you gotta give him time. Did they say anything mean to you? Did they say anything mean to you? They're like, no, they didn't say anything yet. I'm like, well, you gotta give him time, give him process, because you have to understand. Some parents will still be oblivious to the fact like you don't notice that. Even him as a student, when he's in my class, he would talk to me. He's like, Miss Volsey, I already knew, and he ain't my kid. So unless he changed his way when he got home, he was acting differently. But it's like, I don't know, some people be like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I have two interesting stories, right? All right, so I remember in my mid-20s, I went to a point where I wanted to transition. Like, I don't know what it was. I think it was like a good year. I was like, I don't feel comfortable in my body. And I always loved my body, right? And I was like, I feel very masculine, like, you know what I mean? So I was like, I want to transition.
You have a lot of masculine energy, is what you were feeling?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't like remember exactly what it was, but I just did not feel comfortable. And so my two best friends at the time, we were into Fridays, and I was like, guys, like, how would you feel? Because those were the two most comfortable people I felt more comfortable with. And I was like, how would you guys feel if I transitioned? And they were like, honestly, like, we don't care. Like, we love you regardless of who you are. And so I remember I had said it to like one of my sisters, and she had said the same thing. And it was like, I was happy to hear it, but I was like, damn, what are my parents gonna think? You know what I mean? Like, cause like my dad, like, he always wanted a son. He had all girls, right? So he always wanted a son.
He's like, well, I'll take this trade. I don't want a gay daughter, but I'll take a man.
So that didn't deter me from not wanting to do it. But then I don't know what happened. Everything just went away, and just because I'm just like, I love my body, like I love who I am, I love being.
You give yourself time,
right? Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying like for everyone it's like that, but it could be like that.
I think that's why some people are saying like, you know how like a kid will be 6 and they're like, yeah, my son wants to transition. And people are like, wait, let them give them more time because they haven't hit puberty yet. Give the body time. And if they really don't love themselves, like their body the way it is at 16, 17, free reign. But like I that's the part I do believe in. Like anyone before prepubescent years, like give them time, because it's almost like the same way I feel like when and I'm nothing against people who want to get their body done. Like when they want to get their body done at like 18, directly at 18, I'm like, our body still got some more time to grow. You're going to gain some weight. And if you have a kid, your body spreads. So give your body time. Then maybe after having kids, if you decide to have children, or after you gain weight, you might say, I want to do a little readjustment. I gained too much weight. I want to slim down my waistline. But when you rush and do it, your body wasn't even done growing yet. Because my body did some growing. I thought I had a bird chest like at 18. But then
now she has a little chest.
I have a little chest. I got something down here, y'all. I'm still part of the itty bitty committee, but my body did grow. Like when I'm looking at old pictures, like, okay, my body wasn't like this now that it is now. I'm a full adult woman. Like my body does not look like it was when I was 17, 18. So give the body time. That's the only part I'll agree with some people. Like, wait, don't rush them to allow them to just rush and change at 6 years old. That's honestly really young. Because at 6, I was like, I'm watching Sesame Street. I didn't know nothing about that. Give them time. And if they still feel the same way at like 15, 16, okay, you start slowly changing, taking the hormones and stuff like that. Allow them, and then full surgery. But when they're rushing at 6 years old, your body has not done anything at that age. So give it time.
If I become a parent, I feel like I would do that too. Like obviously, I would support my child, but like I would wait till they get like a certain age for them to want to take hormones and stuff like that.
Do you want to?
Don't kill me, of course.
I didn't know that. I don't know damn kids. Well, you want to carry? I'm so here for that. You're gonna look so cute with your little belly because she's so tiny. And she's tall, but she's like small frame.
I think it's cool seeing a tall pregnant woman.
Oh my god.
We're typically short, so all the weight is everywhere. But seeing a tall woman being pregnant,
we don't relate. We don't know what short is.
Shut up. Whatever. I'm short. I'm 5'3". They're the tall ones.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, I think it's cool. Like seeing it from teenagers transitioning. I recently this year I had a student they didn't want to be called by her birth name. And she wanted to be called they. So one of the teachers announced it to us, like, oh, so-and-so doesn't want to be called so-and-so. They, them. But then she goes, but then I see her, then her friends call her name. She doesn't correct them. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't something like, I don't know, I'm not saying it's a phase. Maybe it's something like, okay, she's slowly
maybe she's
going
not comfortable with correcting her friend every fucking time.
Yeah. So there were times she would slide over to my desk one time. We were having a conversation about something. I guess she has a crush on someone, but the person is in a relationship. And I was like, ooh, yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't fuck that up. Like, if they break up, and
then you slide your way in.
Then you slide your way in. But right now, don't play with that. But then, I'll start calling them by their name. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. She was like, miss, it's okay. I was like, she's like, you're learning. I just literally told everybody. I'm like, okay, thank you, because I don't want y'all cutting my neck and I lose my job, I'm broke. And it's like, no, I wouldn't do that. No, the students are actually, the teenagers are more receptive. Like, they know when you're being an asshole. They'll tell you over, like, yo, Mrs. being mad rude, but they're more receptive and understanding, like, we're learning something as opposed to the adults. The moment you fuck up with adults, like, oh, shit, I called her or him by accident because they just told us that this is what they want to be called by, and it's like, I'm sorry, and it's like, and then you get this long extended email like, this person doesn't respect the LGBTQ plus community, and like, wow, I messed up on the pronoun.
It's so tricky because I feel like there's no grace given to the adults who are not familiar and are just not introduced to this whole concept of non-binary and the LGBTQ plus. I think if you want to see true change, there needs to be grace given to the people that who are willing to learn,
really
but want to they're gonna fuck up. Like, what the fuck? But I wanted to talk about what you said earlier prior to us hitting record, where you said you identify, and I know you don't like labels, but for the purpose of this conversation, you identify as a lesbian, but you are also attracted to men.
Yeah.
I think there's a misconception, and I want you to elaborate on how you truly feel about the two genders. But there's a misconception that because you like one, that you shouldn't like the other. Right. Then it becomes confusing. People are like, well, I'm so confused, and blah, blah, blah. And then that's when pansexual comes in and all this other stuff. So when you say you're attracted to men, what do you mean exactly?
Like, I'm attracted to the physical. Like my best friend, right? He's an attractive man. I tell him that all the time. I tell all my guy friends, like, you're attractive. And I'm not scared to say that. And I feel like I shouldn't have to, because I feel like if you find someone attractive, you find someone attractive.
Yeah, that's human. We're human.
Like, you know what I mean? So for me, I've seen guys all the time, like, oh, you're so handsome, you're so hot, like, but that's just me.
Yeah. And I think that also falls into, like, friends, like, giving your friends, like, compliments. Right. Like, you're just telling, like, hey, you're attractive. I'm that girl that be at the club drunk as hell in the bathroom, like, girl, you look mad good. Like, but not even on some, like, flirty shit, but, like, I just want to compliment you and give you that, like, yo, what you did today, you did that. Like, the hair, the nail, like, everything is good. But I think people just have this misconception that because you identify as one thing, you can't flip flop because now you're bisexual or you're confused or whatever.
But like, I've been there with men where I've tried to be intimate with them, and it just
how many times?
A few times. It wasn't just like.
Is it before you identified completely like I'm lesbian?
Yeah.
Or like when you were still teeter-tottering through like.
Okay, so my first relationship, right before we even got into a relationship, I used to work at Walmart in Quincy.
Oh god, that one's ghetto.
So ghetto.
I know Walmart's ghetto across the board, but that
takes the cake.
Tricky. And there was this guy there, and we like had an attraction to each other. Yeah. Right. And we met up one night, and we were kissing and doing our thing, but like. He popped his dick out, and it was just that.
He's like, ew!
But I've also had sex with guys, so it's like.
This is before you, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, timeline-wise.
This is, like, even.
When you was like, I like girls?
Yeah. Because I still have an attraction to men.
So what made you go like, okay, I think I can have sex with this person? And let me know when I'm like pushing the line. Like when were you like, I'm attracted to him, but I would love to have sex with him, or I don't know how the conversation went in your head.
I don't know.
Wait, you ever?
No.
Okay.
Like, if I like him, I like his personality. Like, I like him, but it's just like when it's gotten down to like, let's hook up, let's have sex.
Like, how did we get there? You need to walk me through, because I am confusion. When you like, you're hot, we're hot together.
Let's
It's
make
been
hot
like,
sex.
okay, like, obviously like flirting.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm a flirt. I don't think I am.
Yes, the fuck
But-
you is. Yes, the fuck she is.
I'm not thinking of believer. So obviously like flirting, you know, and then a lot of times a lot of my guy friends end up liking me. So
Because
it's
you're flirting with them. No, so I'm joking.
so the few that, not really few, but not friends, okay, so it's ex-coworker of mine.
Yeah.
We flirted, we talked for a bit, and he told me he liked me. And I was like, you know, like, I like you. You got the whole light skin thing going.
No.
No, it's not like a color thing,
I got
but
you.
like,
No, I know, I get what you're saying.
he was like
very like
muscular,
smooth, cute.
like he had text. He was like something that I like personally. So, you know, we had went out one time and we had a good time. Like we got to meet, we had a good time. And then I remember one night we were texting and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was just like, "Nothing." And then he was like, "Oh, how would you feel like if I come over or whatever?" And I was just like, "Is this a booty call?"
After 10.
So I'm like, just be honest. He was just like, kind of, like, okay. So like he ended up coming over and we, you know, were kissing and stuff. And obviously I'm human, my hormones, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I get it.
But then like.
So you completed the task, or did you just say this is not
task.
friends?
We kind of completed the task. It's just, I don't know, like, dick just doesn't feel good to me.
The fuck you talking about?
Like, it just. But it's weird. It's weird. But here's the thing. So like, having sex with a guy. Is not enjoyable to me.
No. But if you introduce toys.
Right. With a woman. I find pleasure in that.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. Yeah. I get it 100%.
So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but like.
No, you're answering my question because in the sense of like, even after you clearly identify like I'm extremely attracted to women, there are times where like, oh, I can probably do something with this person, and you've tried it, and there's not to say that you're confused because you're not. You're very clear on what you like, but you also can indulge in other things.
But I feel like as people, like I feel like as society, they put like these constraints on people. You know what I mean?
And
it's
that's
like,
what honestly,
like, and even within the LGBT plus community, and it's like I don't like. It's like, okay, so you don't like me.
Bisexuals.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of stigma against it, and
they call us greedy and confused.
But it's just like people should be able to do what they want.
But they don't say shit about pansexuals.
I've heard of straight people saying bisexuals are being greedy too. There's so you sleeping with a girl tonight and tomorrow you're gonna get some dick.
Yes, so why not? Why not?
So I've heard from straight people saying
you can fuck 10 girls in one night and that's okay. But if I say I'm attracted to both genders, and when I'm dealing with one gender, I'm truly dealing with one gender. I'm not seesawing between the two, and that's a problem for you. And the craziest part for me, and I want you to get back to what you were saying, but like, there's so much like stigma behind bisexuals, but there's no stigma behind pansexuals. Which
what are those?
They fuck anything. They fuck
like
trans.
They're sexually attracted to
everything.
people.
If you're attractive and they want to fuck you, that's it. You can be a trans woman or a trans man.
So my niece, right? She's 12, right? She came out to us when she was like 8 or 9.
I love that for her.
Right?
What is she?
She said she was bi. At first she said she was bi. And the other day, we were all like, we have like my sister, my nieces and stuff, and we all like hang out, right? And she was like, "Oh, I'm omnisexual." I'm like, "What the fuck is omnisexual?"
Omni.
I'm like,
I was about to ask the same thing.
In a sense, it's like
what's omni?
It's like pansexual and asexual. It's like you're
asexual.
Not asexual. It's like you're not attracted to the.
I thought sapiosexual. You're just attracted to their mind.
No, asexual is when you can you don't want to be touched. Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Asexual is when you don't want to be
Yeah.
touched. Like you don't want to be penetrated. You don't want no head, no
You
nothing.
just want to talk to them.
You just want to
You just.
pleasure them and.
Oh, you don't want to be touched, but you'd
Yeah.
rather do the touching.
They call. Wait, there's also. Yeah, we're about to go.
Yeah, before we give y'all wrong question.
Don't
Girl,
fucking.
I didn't know about Omni.
I was like,
So
what
Omni
is
is-
asexual?
What is that exactly? If you can.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, let's look up
That's
asexual.
Interesting.
Listen, if I sat here and told my mom there's saposexual, there's Omni, mom would be like, you know what?
Oh
Done.
wait, asexual is when you lack attraction to others or low or absent interest or in desire for sexual activity. So like you have no desire to have sex. Like you're just like
That's asexual.
yeah.
And then
So omnisexual is involving, relating to, or characterized by a diverse sexual propensity.
Girl, you lost me. I don't know.
Yeah,
That definition.
that
Way
definition
too
still didn't
complicated.
make it clear.
It doesn't, but
Did
I
they
was
put it in
like,
a sentence? I don't know.
No.
Can you put that in a sentence?
Because I don't get it.
But to my understanding from what she said, it's basically like, it sounds like pansexual. Like, you
So
like
gender
both
fluid
genders.
means you're whatever? I just want to know.
Gender fluid is like if you're either or, like you're not really stuck
You're
on
So
one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
There's a lot to learn here, and this is why we decided to have this episode because I think it's truly important, especially for people who want. I think, how do I say this? Who want to understand, not necessarily follow the line, because like there's gonna be people like, oh, you know, I'll respect the they, them, she, he, or she, her, or whatever, but they don't wanna, they're not gonna exercise that pronoun. Just have the conversation. I have conversations all the time, and I'm like, please excuse my ignorance. I am only here to learn. And then I preface every conversation with that when it comes to my friend at work, because she's like head of the LGBTQ RG.
RG.
No, wait.
Why you adding new letters?
No. You know how there's the D&I groups, like the diversity and inclusion groups?
Yes.
We have an ERG group, so it's employee resource group. So it's basically
I'm like,
little,
girl, when did they
like
do
little groups and little like.
DRG. Like, what? Now you just added the whole alphabet. Just say A through Z.
I'm a Z. No, so she runs. So there's different, like there's subdivisions of the ERG group. There's the all women's group. There's the LGBTQ, and she runs the LGBTQ. And so I go to her for everything. Like I'm like, I don't understand this, or like, can you explain this to me? And she's super, super non-judgmental. That's why I go to her like very raw, like in my ignorance, because she never comes to me and be like, why would you say that?
Right.
Because in my head, like in her head, I would assume, and I can have this conversation with her, but like I assume that she knows that I'm coming from a place of genuine like understanding and not like ignorance. Like, well, I am ignorant because I don't know, but I'm not like wanting to stay there. You know?
Yeah.
So, omnisexual. Girl!
Lord,
I'm like, Omicron? She's 12?
She's 12.
Yeah.
But she's so smart, though, because she's educating me.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these terms, and I'm like...
And that reminds me of, like,
What
Dwayne
are you
Wade's
talking
daughter.
Yes.
Teaching
I
me
think
that.
that's so dope. Like,
That
you can
that's-
judge.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
And
I'm
just
like, you
wow.
better get it, Zaya.
Right?
She's fire. She's fire.
She's gorgeous.
So how do you feel? I don't know how. So I'm over here expecting everybody to be like, I understand. But then I'm like, if I had a younger sibling or a younger... Actually, I'm lying, because I would accept... If anything, I'd write out for my siblings. If, like, their parents try to, like, talk to them, like, oh, that's... You're confused, or you don't know what you're talking about, or they try to do some type of exorcism or some shit. Because my stepmother is Jehovah's Witness, so I can see that. I can see her doing some shit like that. But if my siblings or my nieces ever came to me and was like, hey, I think I'm this or I'm that, I'm going to write out for them. Like, I'm going to be like, what do you need me to do so that you can feel comfortable in speaking your truth? Although I am not there yet, I think I have a fear of, like, my dad judging me or exiling me. So there's that. But I don't really like my dad's side, so I don't even know why I care.
I don't even like y'all.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
Like that.
I don't, though.
Oh, so I remember the story. My second story, I wanted to say about something he has said again about someone who you already know is gay, but based off of, but their parents don't know.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who is a guy and is gay, and he's Jamaican, and so he said that he would never come out to his mom. But mind you, if you see him, there's no way you can't tell.
Yo, literally, some of them there's no way you can deny that, like,
Yeah.
unless the parent really want to be oblivious to it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right,
I'm like,
and
what?
I'm just like, how does she
not
she
know?
not know?
Yep.
You know, like I don't understand that, but I'm just like, I think it's her not wanting to admit.
Yeah.
And you know, because it's just like you see your child and the way they talk,
The mannerisms, like
it's like
It's truly because they don't want to know. Like, if they ask the question and you answer in the truth, it cements what they know. And they want to play oblivion because then they don't have to address it, or they don't have to address their feelings. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that goes for people that deny, they don't want to address that conversation. They're not prepared to potentially deal with the consequences of admitting those things. Like, for me, I'm just like, do I want to fucking open Pandora's box with my father? Like, I'm his favorite, and I want to stay there.
Yeah, the siblings are like, bitch, when?
They know. They're like, can you call your dad? Like, legitimately.
I'm a little conflicted by that.
Yeah.
Because I've been like my previous relationship, she never came out to her mom.
I don't
So
know.
how do you maneuver that
And
relationship?
that's the thing, like, it's like, how do you not know your child is gay? Because mind you, I would spend it at her house all the time. When I had surgery, I had ACL surgery, repair surgery, and her mom took care of me. I was there 24/7.
Y'all
Right,
lived
sleeping
together.
dog.
That's crazy.
And it's like, but she never like admitted to her mom, like, hey, and her mom is there, like they grew up Jehovah's Witness. Right?
Yeah. They're
So, I think she didn't want to believe.
yeah.
Like, you know, her daughter is, and it's like, but now the daughter is now with a man, and now I recently had a baby.
Is she living in her true self?
Right.
Girl. This whole time I thought y'all was still together. I'm so slow.
No, not my recent ex, my first ex.
Oh, okay.
My
That's
first
why I
ex.
said.
No.
I was like, yes.
No.
It is. Carry on.
That's crazy.
I was like, that was motherfucking fast. Because I
Right.
swore the last time I seen you, y'all were together.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but
Damn.
that,
And so her mom is just like, oh, that was just your friend.
right. And there goes the
Or
friend
probably she
part.
could have both said, "Oh, that was just a phase" or something.
And
If the mother wanted to put that in.
Yeah.
But that bothers me because it bothers me because I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't hide you from anyone.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
that's
I
also
was
very
out in my
triggering,
truth.
probably,
Right.
too. Because, like, I went through this shit. I don't want to go through this shit again.
Right. And it's like, it's not fair to me because I don't want to have to not want to hold my partner's hand. You know what I mean? Or not, or feel uncomfortable around your family.
Well, I mean, if anybody knows you, they know, whatever. But did they know that you were gay?
Yeah. That's not something like I held back.
That's the parents just not wanting to
Yeah,
cement.
at that point, because if you told the parents and their family is aware that, oh, she's gay or whatever, but then you're constantly coming around their daughter, like. My friends don't come around that much either. My real friends don't come over my house that
But you
much.
also want to remember too, like, gay people have straight friends too.
No, that is also true.
So their parents, they're literally just friends.
That's true.
I mean, it's tricky. It's weird. It's tricky, and I'm here for people coming out to their parents, even though. Y'all have no idea. It's like you know, Peggy, how close I am to my family. Like literally, like I stopped myself from moving. I had secured a job, an apartment, and everything. And I said, nope, I'm not going. And then when I went to Florida for 2 months during COVID, and they were having fun, they were just sending me fucking videos having fun in the background. And I was like, I'm going home. I don't want to be here anymore. And I fucking got up and left. Mind you, I had dick in Florida, so I was fine.
She had dick, y'all.
So I was like happy. But there was something about not being around my family and them having fun without me. I was just like, no, I want to be there. I'm obsessed with my family. So, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, Peggy, do you have any questions?
I don't think I have any more questions.
Are you gay?
No, I'm not gay.
You are gay.
Yo! Chill!
Now I'm putting this all together in my head. The previous recording we just had, we were talking about sex and like the importance of like being open and honest, right? And I just realized the reason why I'm so sexually fluid in that way is because I'm bisexual. There's a lot of things that Peggy will not fucking try because she's like, that's just uncomfortable and it's so disgusting.
I always said,
but in my
you're not
head,
playing my booty hole. But not playing my booty hole.
Okay, I respect that 1,000%.
You don't play with your booty
No,
hole.
Don't play with my booty hole.
don't touch
You
my
don't
It's just not a
Do you
sanitary
eat
place for me, no matter
Do
how
you
much I
eat
clean.
ass?
No, I've never.
No. See,
Never.
no.
See, that
No.
that part,
I
that
for sure
part
ain't
I
need no
just
ass.
can't, I'm sorry, I just can't do, personally. But, you know, it's funny, I recently had my ass eaten for the first time.
And it was amazing.
It was interesting, because I've never had it done before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay.
It's gotta be, I'm over here about to know the story.
Yo, that's a good goodbye. We're done.
It gotta be spread.
Yo, I cannot.
It gotta be spread in a certain way, and you
Oh
gotta get
my
in
God.
there for you to feel anything. If you on the outside, it's not doing shit for nobody. You might as well just bite my ass and keep it pushing.
I'll bite your ass. Man. Fucking stupid.
Listen, okay, since we're here,
Listen.
what
I'm
did you
I'm all for people being open about their sexuality and what they want to do in the bedroom. But like I said in the last episode, I'm all for respecting people what they're open to do. But if someone says that's a no-go for me, like I've always been like,
Yeah, same
I'm
here.
I'm okay with it's a no-go, but like it's like how your parents like, how do you know you don't like it if you don't try it?
Right.
And I'm granted, like
Right.
I know crack. I don't ever want to try crack, so
exactly. You want to try that?
but I've never tried it, and I know I don't want it. But like I don't know.
There's certain things I'm just like, it's a hard no for me. I don't want to try it. I don't care. You can try to convince me. You can give me a whole PowerPoint presentation why
I'm about
eating
to.
ass is an amazing thing to do, and I'm be like,
I'm gonna tell you how to do it
See?
the right way. Because I was against anal for a very, like, I'm talking up until 3 years ago. I was like, ain't nobody putting shit in my ass. And that motherfucker, because I mean, of course, I tried it and they did it so asshole-like and it was uncomfortable for me. So I was like, no, it's not happening. Unintended, Jesus Christ. I didn't even
asshole like.
Anyway, that when my ex introduced it to me, he was like, they're doing it wrong. Like, spit is not gonna lubricate it properly. Like, spit is just like a quick fix. It's not a permanent fix.
It's the fact that knowing that people can spit into people's butts that really got me going. Like, wait, you spit in her butt?
The same way he spits in your cooch, girl.
I don't do the spitting. Don't spit. Don't spit. Don't fucking spit.
Nigga, so how's he lubricating? And don't tell me your shit's always wet because it's not always wet.
No. I know it's not always wet. People who say this shit's always wet, you need to go get checked out. This shit should not always be soaking wet like that. That's not normal. No, he touches. It's like a man has to know to touch you in the right places also. Like your partner has to know like what spots to touch you to get you going down there. Because honestly, I didn't have the experience with my partners who touched me in the right way to get me going down there. They would go straight for the jugular, like, yo, chill, like it's not even ready yet. But it's not ready yet. You can't just go in there.
It's an easy bake oven. This is a fucking
it's an air fryer. Give it time. But no, like, Jessica, shut the fuck up. So, Jessica's stupid. This ain't no easy bake oven. Yo, where'd you get that from?
I don't know, but like you talking about fast, you know how you put it in one end, it comes out immediately on the other end, and now you got cake. Like no, it don't work like that.
But no, the partner I'm with now, he takes his time. He knows where my body is and knows where to touch me and turn me on without doing all the stupid shit like some men tend to do. Like, wait, what are you doing down there? Or the whole part when they're on your clitoris, they go. First of all, you don't do that. That shit got so much nerve endings. Like, what is that?
I feel like honestly.
First off, you found the clit. That's the most impressive part, bitch.
Some of them don't know where it is.
I always ask my straight friends, like female friends, like, have you guys ever really had like an orgasm? Because there's a lot of women
who don't.
Never fucking, and I'm just like, so
not me.
I don't know,
bitch.
like.
I had an orgasm that made me cry.
That's why she's feeling herself. memories.
Hot as fuck.
I don't understand that because it's just like, what happened?
Because men don't know the female anatomy.
Exactly.
They just,
a lot of them, they just think
I
watch
don't know. There
porn.
was a guy
Yes,
walking around with a
porn.
female vagina. He's like, "Can you point to where the clitoris is?"
And they could not.
They kept pointing to the butthole, the
vulva.
vagina,
Right.
the vulva, the outer layer. It's like, no, that's not.
And a lot of men don't know that we have an extra hole, which is cool, right? And it's just like, how do you?
And so when you squirt, they're thinking you're peeing. Like, no, this is two
Two
different
different
holes.
things. Two different things. It's like, oh no, I ain't really squirting, y'all peeing. No, and pee has a smell. So you would have known that you peed on you, dummy. So it's like literally.
Should be extra hot.
Exactly.
Like I said.
But it's very important, no matter what relationship you're in, your partner, if you're into sex, so some people like, you guys just explained this, asexuals that are not into that. So if your partner is into sex, you gotta know your partner's body, where to touch them that can turn on. Because sometimes some people get turned on just by conversation.
Yeah.
You know, they say the right things like, ooh, just their intelligence turns me on. I think that's the sapiosexual.
Sapiosexual, yep.
Yes. So sometimes you don't have to do all that. What the fuck is that?
It's porn. Porn done got them fucked up.
Yo, I'm telling you.
Let a man do that to I'm punching him in his head. Because it's so sensitive down there. There's more nerve endings on the clitoris than there is on the penis.
Right.
So
and compared to like how tiny that is and compared to a
tiny.
penis.
Tiny. It's very tiny. But it does a lot.
It gets the job done. There was a survey actually. There was like 65% of women who are gay or bisexual have experienced orgasms through sex. I think it was like 90 through toys, like clitoral toys. And then like it was like 15% with men. It was bad. It was like a small percentage. It was definitely under 20. I will say that.
Damn.
Yeah,
What y'all
it's
doing?
sad because all guys just do thrusting, like back and forth.
Fucking
Not only
amazing.
thrusting, they're banging into a wall. I'm like, first of all, it's not
Like
a
I
brick
said, are
wall.
you with the swap? Because you trying to knock this door down and it ain't coming down. I hate it. I hate it.
We have YouTube. Y'all can Google search how a female anatomy is set up and how it's supposed to be. And then if you
There's
are in a
no more
relationship,
excuses for ignorance.
talk to your lady, talk to
Right.
your woman or your significant other.
Back to Jess's point with sex, I feel like with your partner, I mean, I agree with you too as far as like, you know, what you're off limits with. I completely get it because my asshole is completely off limits. Like, don't touch me there. But I feel like with your partner, you should be open to trying new things.
Yes.
And that's how you know if you like it or not.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That's what I'm saying.
I can't wait to see what clip you're gonna use for this part. 'Cause my ass is saying.
Absolutely the fuck not. It's gonna be that little girl in the car like, get me the fuck out of here. In the back. Baby, get me out of here.
Lord.
Yeah. All right. So this is amazing. I'm so happy because we've been trying to get you on here for two seasons.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect time. It's
Maybe
5
we'll
months.
see, everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
So all the other ones are gonna be happening for a reason. All the other ones that were canceled and all that other stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it turned out we did great on our own.
Period.
So,
Period.
see? I mean,
That part.
we literally, some episodes, we were supposed to have guests.
And we were
didn't.
struggling.
We were struggling, came off with the topic. Y'all wouldn't have known because
Yeah.
we never mentioned, like, oh, we were supposed to have a guest. We just
Right.
went straight and recorded it. And y'all thought, oh, it's just them recording. No, we were supposed to have a freaking guest.
Between
We do for whatever
COVID
reason,
and like
COVID.
other restrictions and
Personal reasons, people have things that came up. And I was like, okay, we'll just push it for next season. So,
yeah.
listen, this podcast is bomb. I be dying.
So Shauna is like the best. She's always texting like, you and Peggy got me dead over here.
I know, she's always commenting under our YouTube videos, which I love.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she's
I want to like honestly. I support Black women.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You sound like
anything
Peggy and I.
Black women, Black community.
Yeah.
I support it. So I
Yeah.
give it to y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm so fucking happy you were here because I've never laughed so damn hard on this fucking podcast.
No, not her feeling herself. You're
Right, like, I mean, granted, it's summertime, my house is very small, it gets hot very quickly.
I think the last time you laughed like that was when I brought up the meme.
Oh.
I cried, we cried.
But I was drunk as
Yo,
fuck.
she would not stop laughing. I'm trying to get the point out. She's still cracking up.
That whole, it should have just been we crowed together. That's what it should have been. That should have been the title of the fucking episode.
That shit was hilarious.
Yo, Jess could not stop laughing. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna start.
It was the picture in my head. It was the way you said it. I was like, what the fuck? I'm dead. But anyways,
literally.
Peggy's gonna give us the business shout out for this episode.
Yes.
Did you come up with one? Okay.
Yes, I found one. So so this week's business shout out is Let's Picnic Boston. Black owned, women owned. Boston's best luxury picnic experience. Actually, my sister-in-law had used them for her little I think for her 39th birthday back in November. We were outside and we were in like this igloo type of tent, but it was a picnic inside of it. And I actually worked with her.
Yes,
that sounds dope.
The fire department hates those igloo tents because it's such a fire hazard. But go ahead.
Yeah, but we had nothing fire in there.
Yeah.
It was just us in there. And it was like getting towards the middle of November, so it was cold, so we still had our coats on. But we didn't have no fire. It's a plastic igloo thing, guys, so if you do ask her for that, don't have any fires in there because it's plastic. It can melt. But it's really, I had a good experience. It was really nice. Go follow her page. It's Let's make sure I got it right. Let's Picnic _Boston. That's the IG page. And the website is www.letspicnicboston.com. We will share all that in our description box. Go follow her. Go check her out. Maybe it's a cute summer idea. Since it's still nice out, you'll actually have it outside without the little plastic igloo. But per usual, we appreciate you guys for checking us out.
This was one of my faves.
Peace out.